Hi guys, today's exciting new video will be about roofs, roofing, and the kind of materials we use for roofing when we build our dream homes. Let's get started. We are building 6 objects now, and we are starting another 8 this month. Some of these objects will be for sale soon. If you want to see them, share, or ask questions, please subscribe to our channel. Come visit Austin, and I will tell you everything I know about building houses in Texas. This is our object here near the river. The house has 4 floors. 3 of which are for living in. Our video today is not about a flat zone, it's about a roof. This topic is rarely talked about on YouTube, so I had to learn all about it myself. When designing, we always think about how to start and which kind of roof to use, flat, pitched, or slope. This house has a pitched roof, so we're going to talk about pitched and sloped roofs and their pros and cons. So, the first type we're looking at is a pitched roof. Usually, when we begin work on a house, we plan its internal design and never think of what type of roof it will have, flat or slope. But this is an important part of a design. A pitched roof is the most popular. Why? Because people used to build their houses in the form of yurts and huts, and were used to having a pitched roof. Rain and snow easily fall from a pitched roof, and the roof does not require any maintenance to keep doing its job. Slopes can be very different. They may be 45 degrees, 30 degrees, or even less. And, of course, there are a lot of different materials you can use for a pitched roof. Today, I'm going to tell you about 3 different kinds of materials. The first material is a shingle or ruboroid. These can be cut in different shapes, like a rhombus, square, or rectangle, and they come in sheets. The shingle sheets are fixed one-on-one when used. This material is super easy to use and create, and it does not require any maintenance. I invited our roof contractor here today to share his expertise with us and advise us on what roofing we should choose. Here he is. Hi, Armando.
Yeah, I want to ask you a very important question for our clients. What is the roof, better or worse?
Okay.
Can you share, please, with our viewers?
Sure. Yeah. So you have obviously your pitched roof, which you have a couple options to go with, and then you have your flat roof. So to start with pitched roofs, you have anything from asphalt shingle roofs that you can go with. Obviously, economical way to go with. Then you have a couple options after that. You have standing seam metal. And then modified bit as well, which is not used a lot on a slope roof, but can be. The one that we've seen a lot right now being used is obviously your standing seam metal roofs, which Igor has put on quite a few roofs for his customers. The plus side on the standing seam roof is going to be that it's 24 gauge thick steel, which actually holds up a lot better in bad weather, it being wind, hail, anything obviously storm related, and so it's going to hold up a lot more better than obviously your economical option, which is going to be your asphalt shingle. Asphalt shingle can hold up to a certain point, but with a standing seam you obviously get that modern look, sustainability, and it's going to last you for 40 plus years.
A metallic roof is simply a metallic sheet, and you can find it in many different colors. What's special about it is that you can bend it to create any shape you want. I am holding the flashing now that we'll be using to frame the roof along the edge here. I have also seen these sheets being bent with a special set of tools to change their form and make them into different sizes. We used the roof material to finalize the wall design of this object. It looks great and makes good waterproofing to prevent water from leaking in under the roof. The metallic's roof greatest advantage is in its variety of colors, from galvanic to yellow or blue, black or brown, or any color really. You can also use different sizes and designs for the panels, including flat or ribbed and matte or glossy. Remember though, that metal can only be used for pitched roofs. You can't use it for flat roofs because the water will flow into these joints. The water does not flow off of a flat roof, and it would just accumulate on the roof instead, which certainly isn't what you want here. Another type of roofing material that can be used for a pitched roof is clay tile roofing. It's an old-fashioned type of building material that is widely used in Europe. It's expensive to lay and requires a lot of attention because it really has its own styling. You can use it for classic design houses, but you can't use it for more modern style homes. Clay tile is also very expensive and hard to lay. It is really challenging to find an expert who can do this in the United States. Let me reiterate that the ceramic roof is not a budget option. The shingles or a metallic roof for one house, for example, costs $10,000 to $15,000, whereas the clay tile costs over $30,000. Moreover, you would be likely to have a really hard time finding an expert who could lay the ceramic tile for you.
Concrete and clay roofs, that's another option. Used a lot in Europe. Obviously, that's where it's generated. We do some tile and concrete and clay installations. Don't see it too much here in Austin that much, but it is starting to grow a little bit more. It just gives you that elegant look that you may be looking for when you're building maybe a European style home. You do have that option. Concrete is usually the most economical out of the two, clay and concrete. Right now, you're still going to run into those lead time issues and color availability issues, but the option's still out there.
Here we are at our Hunter Pass object, which has flat roofs on the second and third floors. Here, this special material will be used to lead the water flow out and make the roof life-safe.
Flat roof is what you call it, low slope, you can call it as well. This is what's being used a lot on modern houses nowadays, especially with this kind of style home that you have. With a flat roof, you have a couple options. You have your modified bitumen, which is a modified torch down install, has been used for years. What we've seen a lot and what we do a lot of is going to be your TPO, PVC, and EPDM membrane, which is a thermoplastic membrane, comes in various colors, but what it's good to be used here on a flat roof is because it can withstand slow running water. The seams are all welded, will hold up if there's any crazy storms. Depending on the option you get, you can go 60 mil, 80 mil. Just depends on how you want to upgrade those roofs. But specifically on this roof here, we'd go with a TPO roof that'll drain obviously to the point of drainage. It'll drain out to some scuppers. TPO will hold up with any winds. It's not so much hail, but it obviously it will hold up here in Austin. Couple plus sides with TPO roofs is low maintenance. As long as it's not walk done. There's different requirements. You can't walk on TPO consistently, especially on a residential home, but it will hold up. It's a clean look, and it will last for years.
We are standing on a terrace now. The roof is also used as a terrace. It's not finished yet, so as you can see, we've only covered it with plywood. To make it walkable, we are going to install a wooden base, and after that, we will install a deck on top of the wood. This is going to allow us to make this roofing strong enough that it can be walked on safely. Even flat roofs must have a slope. It can be towards gutters. We will see an example of this on our next object. Or an easy 1/4 inch per 1 foot slope that will allow water to flow from one edge to the other.
What is the most challenging cases you have in your experience?
So challenging cases here recently, but in the past that when we began, the challenges are just more of finding the right skilled labor to install these pitched metal roofs. It does take years of experience. It's really, you can't just go with anybody. So
why? Because it's very pitched roof.
Right.
Very dangerous.
Right. You're right. You have to be. Yeah. Right. Exactly. You have to know what to watch out for. Obviously, the challenges are depending on the type of house that you're building, the height, the slope, different things that you got to know going into the project. We've had it happen a couple times. Challenges where the installer shows up and they're like, well, we've never done this before, right? As far as the TPO roofs run the same way, flat roofs are the same thing. Here recently, the only challenges that have come upon us is the availability of products. So you can't really.
Now is a big problem.
Now is a big problem. You can't pick and choose anymore. You just got to find what's available and what works for the project that you're doing. So with TPO, it's more of you got to go with the color that's available, the manufacturer that's available. Standing seam roofs, same thing. Color options not always available. Lead times are really long, and when you have a project going, you can't wait that long.
Here's one of our projects behind me. You can see that there is a pitched roof made of metal on this one. I want to draw your attention to some specific points on this project. The first one is a plaster roof joining joint. There needs to be a special plank on the edge here that will allow the joint to breathe and stop water from coming in. Usually, that plank is fixed under the roof's edge. The roofers pass it by first to join the stucco with this plank. The next point to pay attention to is the ventilation piping that a plumber will fix under the roof. They will lead these pipes through the roof. So the roofers need to make sure that the area around the holes is waterproof. If they aren't, there will be issues with leaking once the pipes are fixed through the holes. In our previous video, we advised you to paint these pipes a color similar to the roof. So be sure to ask your roofers to do that so that the pipes won't be too obvious. Also, ask them to fix the pipes from the roof edge to its center to hide white pipes on the roof and make its design more attractive. Let's talk about gutters now. Know that a lot of gutters can be painted in the same color as a roof to make them invisible. But that is totally impossible in the case of a ceramic shingle roof. For comparison, a ruberoid roof can be fitted with gutters that are very close in color to the roof itself. But for ceramic shingles, that's impossible because of their classic red color. So the most suitable gutters for a ceramic shingle roof are going to be white or brown. Still, the gutters are visible and do not integrate well with the roof. Don't worry though, there are plenty of innovative designs out there today to help integrate gutters more effectively. I have seen them in the form of cups, for example, and designers offer several other forms to ensure that roofers can integrate gutters beautifully. So, at this point, we have talked about three parts of this roof: the joining plaster, the pipes to hide and fix as far as possible, and the gutters, which you should always get in a similar color to the roof to hide them and keep the design of your home as attractive as it can be.
Did you have some problems when we had a snowstorm in Texas with your roof?
Yeah. So snowstorm Texas was something new to us, obviously here in Austin. We did run into our fair share of issues with the asphalt shingle side of things, just because the codes here in Texas aren't meant to withhold a winter storm like we had. So we had a lot of what's called ice dams, which is when water freezes at the ends of roofs and snow builds over. What happens is the ice melts and it runs underneath the roof.
Okay.
And here in Texas, there's not a code to obviously. The install code for this area is not what you see up north, which is what you do an ice and water shield all the way at the perimeter of the homes to prevent any ice damming. So what we have seen here lately with that storm, everybody's starting to kind of switch the codes themselves just to prevent that from happening in the future, just because we've had it happened. And so from time to time you will see some contractors spec out an ice and water shield at the perimeter, the valleys, and any penetrations of the roof. And these are specifically for shingle installations, just for the fact that you have those entry points and you can't really avoid it without having that option.
I hope you all liked this video. See you in the next one. Bye.